It started with a single sentence I can never forget. She looked me dead in the eye, her voice calm but her hands trembling, and said, "I just want freedom." At the time, I didn't understand what she meant. Freedom from what? From who? From where she lived? Or maybe freedom from the people closest to her? I brushed it off, thinking it was just a dramatic way of saying she wanted change, maybe a new start. But later, those words would echo in my head like a warning I had ignored. I should probably back up a little. My name's Daniel, and when all this started, I was just trying to be there for someone who felt trapped. Her name was Anna. She was warm, funny, the kind of person who could make a room light up even when she was hiding her own pain. We met through a mutual friend, and before I knew it, we were spending hours talking about everything. Our dreams, our past, the things we wished we could escape. She trusted me in a way that felt rare, but there was always this shadow that came with her. And that shadow was her sister, Leah. Now, I don't want to paint Leah like some kind of villain right away. She wasn't cruel in the obvious sense. On the surface, she was friendly, charismatic, the kind of woman people gravitated toward without realizing why. But there was something in the way she looked at me, like she knew something I didn't. Something Anna was too scared to tell me. The first time I met both of them together, I felt tension I couldn't quite explain. Anna was quiet, reserved, almost nervous, while Leah did most of the talking, watching me closely with this half-smile that never reached her eyes. At one point, Leah leaned closer and whispered, "Careful with my sister. She's not as innocent as she looks." I laughed it off, thinking it was just sibling teasing. But Anna's face told a different story. The more time I spent with Anna, the clearer it became that she was suffocating. Not just from family expectations, but from something darker, something unspoken. And every time she opened her mouth to explain, Leah would somehow appear, interrupting, changing the subject, reminding me in subtle ways that I didn't fully belong in their world. Still, Anna kept reaching out to me. Late-night phone calls, whispered conversations when Leah wasn't around, sudden moments of honesty that vanished as quickly as they appeared. She wanted freedom. That much was clear. But freedom from what? And why her sister always seemed to be standing in the way? That was the part one couldn't put together. Until one night, when Leah came to me directly. And what she said turned everything upside down. When I think back on it now, the strangest part wasn't what was said, it was what wasn't. The things left hanging in the air, the silences between words that told me more than any conversation ever could. Anna grew up in a strict household. She once told me her parents had rules for everything. What time she had to be home, who she was allowed to see, even what clothes she could wear. But it wasn't just her parents who made life difficult. It was Leah. Leah was the older sister by 3 years, and from what I could tell, she carried herself like she was always in charge. If Anna hesitated, Leah decided for her. If Anna tried to explain something, Leah cut her off. The control was subtle, but constant. At first, I thought it was just an older sibling being protective. But the more I watched, the more it seemed like Anna was living in Leah's shadow and struggling to breathe under it. When Anna and I grew closer, she would tell me little bits about her life, never the whole picture, always pieces. She talked about wanting to travel, to move out, to finally live on her own terms. But whenever Leah was mentioned, her voice lowered, almost like she was afraid someone could overhear. I noticed she avoided saying Leah's name directly most of the time, as if it carried too much weight. And then there was Leah herself. She wasn't just present, she was everywhere. If Anna and I made plans, somehow Leah found out. If Anna texted me late at night, Leah would call her right after. Sometimes, I even wondered if Anna's phone was being checked, because things I said in private conversations would come back in the form of subtle digs from Leah the next time I saw her. It wasn't all hostility, though, and that's what made it so confusing. Leah could be kind when she wanted to be. She had this charm about her, this way of making you feel like you were the only one in the room. People liked her. They trusted her. And sometimes, I almost did too. Until Anna would catch my eye, her expression warning me not to fall for it. That's the part that still unsettles me. Because the bond between the sisters was complicated, love and fear all tangled together. Anna wanted distance, but she couldn't quite let go. And Leah? Well, Leah didn't seem like she would ever let her sister walk away. The more time I spent with them, the more I felt pulled into something I couldn't escape. I wasn't just caught between two sisters. I was caught between two versions of the truth. And I had no idea which one I was supposed to believe. Then came the night when Anna finally told me her secret. She looked terrified, like saying the words out loud would change everything. And she wasn't wrong. Anna's secret wasn't what I expected. She didn't confess some dramatic crime or reveal a hidden past. What she whispered to me was far more unsettling, because it was about Leah. She doesn't want me to leave, Anna said, her voice shaking. She says if I walk away, everything will fall apart, that she can't live without me. I remember staring at her, not sure what to say. At first, I thought it was just guilt-tripping, the kind of emotional manipulation siblings sometimes use. But the fear in Anna's eyes told me it was more than that. She wasn't just worried about disappointing her sister. She was scared of what Leah might do if she actually left. The days that followed grew stranger. Anna became more distant, pulling back whenever Leah was around. And Leah? She started to act differently too, warmer with me, almost possessive. There were moments when she leaned in too close, her words laced with meaning I couldn't quite pin down. One evening, when Anna stepped away, Leah lowered her voice and said, "She thinks you're her escape. But don't fool yourself. You don't know her like I do." The way she said it, it wasn't protective. It was a warning. I felt torn in two. On one side was Anna, begging for freedom, terrified of the hold her sister had over her. On the other was Leah, confident, unshakable, always hinting that Anna wasn't telling me the whole truth. And caught between them was me, questioning whether I was helping or just making things worse. Every conversation felt like a trap. Every glance between them carried weight I couldn't decipher. And then, one night, it happened. Anna called me, crying. She said she couldn't take it anymore. She begged me to meet her, to take her somewhere Leah couldn't find her. Her voice was raw, desperate, unlike anything I had ever heard from her before. I rushed out the door without thinking. But when I arrived at the spot she told me to meet her, Anna wasn't there. Leah was. And the look on her face made my stomach drop. I froze when I saw her. Leah stood exactly where Anna had told me to meet, like she had been waiting all along. She wasn't surprised to see me. If anything, she looked satisfied, almost smug, as if the night had gone exactly how she planned. "Looking for Anna?" she asked, her tone light, but her eyes sharp. My chest tightened. "Where is she?" Leah tilted her head, that faint smile tugging at her lips. "Safe. For now." The way she said it made the hairs on my arms rise. Safe from what? From me? From herself? Or from Leah? I couldn't tell. I tried to push past her, but Leah blocked the path, stepping closer, lowering her voice. "You think you're helping her, Daniel, but you're not. You're just feeding her fantasies. She doesn't need freedom. She needs me." Her words struck me like ice. The intensity in her voice, the way she said me, it wasn't just about being a sister. It was something deeper, darker, something I couldn't name. I pulled back, my heart pounding. "She's terrified of you," I blurted out. "Why won't you let her go?" For the first time, Leah's smile faltered. Her eyes flickered with something raw, something unguarded. But just as quickly, she hit it again. "You don't understand. You never will. She's mine. Always has been." The silence that followed was unbearable. I wanted to scream, to demand answers, but my throat felt tight. And then my phone buzzed. It was a message from Anna. Just one line. "Help me. Please." My pulse roared in my ears. I looked up at Leah, who was still watching me like she could see every thought running through my head. "Where is she?" I demanded. Leah didn't answer. Instead, she leaned closer, her voice almost a whisper. "You're in too deep, Daniel. If you take her, if you even try, you'll regret it." The weight of her words pressed down on me, but Anna's message burned in my hand. I couldn't just walk away. Not now. I shoved past Leah and ran, calling Anna's name into the night. My footsteps echoed against the empty street, but there was no answer. Just shadows, silence, and the overwhelming sense that I was already too late. Then, faintly, I heard it, Anna's voice. Weak, shaky, calling my name from somewhere close by. I followed the sound, my chest tight, my breath ragged. I turned a corner, and there she was. Anna, alone, trembling, eyes wide with fear. And before I could even reach her, she whispered something that stopped me cold. Anna's lips trembled as she whispered, barely loud enough for me to hear. "It's not me you should be afraid of, it's her." I froze, every nerve in my body tightening. She wasn't just talking about Leah anymore. She was talking about herself. Her eyes darted over my shoulder, and I turned just in time to see Leah step into the glow of the streetlight. But instead of anger, Leah's face held something else entirely: fear. "Daniel, don't listen to her," Leah said quickly, her voice urgent. "You don't know what she's capable of." The ground seemed to tilt under me. For weeks, I had believed Anna was the one trapped, desperate to break free. But now Leah's eyes, wide, almost pleading, made me question everything I thought I knew. Anna grabbed my arm, her nails digging into my skin. "Take me away now, before she does something we can't undo." But Leah stepped forward, shaking her head, tears brimming in her eyes. "Daniel, she's lying." And in that moment, I realized the terrible truth. One of them was telling me everything, and the other was hiding something that could destroy us all. The night closed in around us, heavy and suffocating. Anna clung to my arm like her life depended on it, while Leah's voice shook with a desperation I had never heard before. "Daniel, you have to choose," Anna whispered, her breath hot against my ear. "If you don't take me right now, I'll never get out." But Leah stepped closer, tears streaking her face. "Please, she's not the victim here. You don't know what she's done." My chest felt like it would split open. Two sisters, two stories, and only one of them could be the truth. My mind screamed at me to move, to decide, but my body was frozen between them. Then Anna snapped. She spun toward Leah, her voice sharp, venomous. "You can't control me anymore." The words cut through the air like a knife, and for the first time, I saw Leah flinch, not from anger, but from something closer to heartbreak. "I wasn't trying to control you," Leah said, her voice cracking. "I was trying to protect you." The silence that followed was unbearable. And then Anna laughed, low, bitter, almost cruel. "Protect me? Or protect yourself?" That's when I saw it. The flicker in Anna's eyes, something dark, something dangerous. And suddenly, I realized, Leah wasn't the one keeping secrets. It was Anna. Before I could react, Anna's grip on my arm tightened like a vice, her smile twisting into something I didn't recognize. "Now you finally see," she whispered. And in that instant, I understood. Freedom wasn't what Anna wanted at all. It was something far worse. Anna's grip loosened just as quickly as it had tightened, but the chill it left on my skin stayed. I pulled back, searching her face, hoping to find the girl I had come to care for. The girl who whispered about freedom late at night. The one who laughed softly when she thought no one was listening. But the look in her eyes was something else entirely. Leah stepped forward, her voice steady despite the tears. "Daniel, she doesn't want freedom. She wants control. She always has." Anna shot her sister a glare sharp enough to cut glass. "You'll never let me live my own life. You just want me caged beside you forever." "No," Leah whispered, shaking her head. "I wanted to keep you safe, from yourself." The two sisters stood facing each other, and I realized the truth wasn't simple. Anna wasn't innocent, and Leah wasn't entirely guilty either. Their lives had been twisted together for so long that neither of them knew where one ended and the other began. I wanted to fix it, to say something that would make sense of the mess, but there were no right words. Sometimes people carry scars so deep, no outsider can heal them. All I could do was step back and let the two of them face what had been festering for years. Anna finally looked at me, her eyes softer now, almost apologetic. "I thought you could save me," she said quietly. "But maybe I was never meant to be saved." And with that, she turned and walked into the night, leaving me frozen in place. Leah didn't chase her this time. She just stood there, shoulders heavy, watching her sister disappear into the shadows. When the silence settled, Leah looked at me and said something I'll never forget. "Sometimes loving someone means letting them go, even when it terrifies you." I never saw Anna again after that night. Maybe she found the freedom she was searching for. Or maybe freedom wasn't what she truly wanted in the first place. What I do know is this: some people don't need rescuing. Some people carry battles inside them that no one else can fight. And no matter how much you want to save them, sometimes the bravest thing you can do is step back. In the end, I wasn't Anna's escape. I was just the witness to a story of two sisters, bound by love, by fear, and by secrets I'll never fully understand. And every so often, when I hear the word freedom, I remember her voice, trembling but determined, and wonder if maybe what she really wanted was something none of us could ever give.